is a great day for Black Girl Magic.
Ooh,
Yesterday was all chucks and pearls, and everybody was admiring, what Kamala was doing in the White House, and also that made me think about admiration for a lot of the women in our community that are doing amazing things, that are kicking butt, taking names, starting businesses, just doing all the things that hold us together. And so today's guest is Miss Keisha Ravenel. Keisha is she's a student in the Black Business School, and also she is the founder of the We Inspire brands, correct?
yes, right? Inspire brand. That is correct.
Yes, and you can see I'm actually wearing her shirt. Her shirt says "I am enough," and she has sent me one, so I am wearing my "I am enough" shirt because I know I'm enough, and so everybody who's enough, type the word "enough" in the chat if you know that you are enough. And so, first of all, I want to ask my sister, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am doing amazing. New year, new opportunities, new year for greatness. Like I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, let me start with the beginning. So I am enough. What does I am enough mean to you?
Oh, so it's funny. So I am enough. My brand, it didn't start off with I am enough. It started off with a totally different design. But after I got out of an engagement, I had very low self-esteem. So I didn't really love myself. I didn't like myself. I was just like, who's going to want me now? Because, wow. I was 30 years old at the time. I'm like, I'm a 30-year-old woman and like, who's going to want me, And then like, all of those thoughts go through your mind about like, we live in a world of social media. So I'm like, oh, I don't have like this Instagram model, body type thing that I feel like all men are looking for, and I'm just like, oh man, like, I guess I'm never getting married. And
wow.
Yeah. And those were my thoughts. Right. And of course it was false thoughts, but they were very real to me at the time. And I had to take the time to really invest in myself emotionally, spiritually, and really love myself. And from there, I said, you know what? Like, I want to create a design for my line, I am enough. And this is not the original design. This is my anniversary design. I have my original design right here. So this is the original. And this is actually like the most popular seller. So that's where it stemmed from. Me having self-esteem and saying, hey, like, I have to get out of this. So from there, I really like invested in my business. I was just like, look, like, I want to do something great. So that's where it stemmed from. So that's what I am enough means to me. It's not about how you look. It's not about any of those things. Like, it's who you are right now. And who I am right now, I am enough. And if someone doesn't feel like I am enough, then they don't need to be in my life.
Wow. Oh my God. Tell me, was anybody else kind of moved by that? I did not expect that. No, I did. I thought I just thought it would be something like, I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be financially free. You went into a whole other space that really struck me. It struck me for two reasons. But before I say that, I should say, number one, you're a beautiful young woman, and everybody in the chat, I want you to tell this Black woman how beautiful she is.
Thank you.
I don't know who the man was or what happened. I'm not here to judge that, but that just breaks my heart. And I just, let's please tell her how beautiful she is, because I think we need to start right there. The second thing that it made me think about is it resonated with me because I understand the self-esteem challenges that can come in those. I mean, as a kid, that was a big problem for me all the way through high school and everything else. I don't know where it started. I don't know where it came from, but so it's not just women that might go through that. I think part of it maybe started with, like, I wasn't raised by my actual biological father. I had a stepfather. Right. And he was a nice guy sometimes, but he was, the love wasn't really there. How about that? The reaffirmation that kids get, like, from their dad, like that's my son. Like, I didn't really have that.
Right.
So I didn't know what my place in the world is. I remember, and I don't talk about this much and I think honestly it's because I block it out of my memory, but I remember being 12 years old, and I remember thinking to myself, why would any woman ever want to spend the rest of her life with me?
Wow.
Which is, I know it's such a horrible, it's really a horrible thing to have to even say out loud.
Right.
And I don't enjoy saying it out loud, but I'm saying it out loud for the people who can maybe understand how that feels.
Yeah.
This is hard. So I'm going to stop talking because I get emotional when I talk about that. Like when I go back and I become that 12-year-old again, I don't want to be that. I don't even want to go back.
Exactly.
So I understand that. The second thing that stuck out to me, and then I want to pass the ball back to you because I want to hear more about that. I want to actually go there because I think that's very intriguing to me. When you were talking about the Instagram model, you said I didn't have the Instagram model body, things like that, and a lot of us see that, right? We see, women who get a lot of attention on Instagram for certain reasons. Yeah. And I personally think that we have to be real conscious about, without being disrespectful, whatever other people are doing, but be real clear about sort of making sure that we take that time to show that respect to the women who are earning our respect without having to, do what's that challenge people are doing, the bust it challenge, and shaking booty in the camera and all that. No disrespect. I mean, if you're doing the bust it challenge, that's okay. But it's like, it's almost like it almost feels a little bit desperate when I see that. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, okay, I'm going to show you as much of my body as possible in order for you to hit that like button because I really need that, right? So tell me, based on not just what I said, but tell me more about that. I am enough. Let's talk about what that means and what that means to you, please.
Right. And it's funny that you spoke about your childhood because in my childhood, I had low self-confidence as well. So I was in elementary school. I was a really chubby kid, so I was teased for that in elementary school. So I did go through life with challenges involving my confidence. I did. So even, the I am enough, it did come from, the breakup. But like I said, throughout life, I had those confidence challenges. So for me, I was just like, if I'm having these challenges, I feel like other women and men out there are having them as well. And I want them to have that reminder, I am enough. I want them to wear this hoodie or wear this t-shirt. And it's a reminder to them like, hey, like, don't worry about what other people are saying. The healing starts from within, really, because when I called off my engagement, it was a mutual agreement. It wasn't just me. So I don't want to, put that out there like, oh yeah, I called it off. Like, no, it was mutual. But I had to do a lot of work. I had to do a lot of work involving healing. So I was journaling every day. I was meditating. I went to therapy. There was just a whole bunch of things that I decided I had to do for my healing. Talk about crying. But I had a support system. And that was one of the biggest things for me. Like, my mom was a huge support. My best friends, they were huge supports. And I feel like that's important, in our community. So like you said, as far as that reminder, those affirmations, that's why I started my t-shirt brand, because I wanted to give the Black community positive affirmations.
And by the way, whenever I disappear on the screen, it's because I've made you big. So don't think I went away. Yeah. It's funny. As I would do that when my guest came on StreamYard, and I didn't think it was a big deal. But then one time I was on someone else's show. I was on a Willie D's show, and he made me like solo by myself, and I felt real weird. I was like, "Where'd you go? Are you there?" He's like, "No, I'm featuring you. Just keep talking." Anyway, everybody, I want you to see her name. Her name is Keisha Ravenel, and I'm gonna make her big on the screen so you can see her brand is the We Inspired brand. And I hope that you'll go follow her on social media and also support her business. She's actually one of our students in the Black Business School, so I'm super proud of her evolution. Now, I saw you. Now, when you and I met, you were kind of in the earlier stages of building the brand, and we had a conversation. And you said you were 30. You're 30. Or you were 30 at the time of the when the engagement was cut off. How are you? 30 now or 31 or
31? I'm going on 32 this year.
Yeah, and I was super impressed because you have to be as old as I am to know how young you are, right? Like 31's
old.
right. 31 seems old because you what can you compare it to? You can only compare 31 to 30 and to 29, right? You can't. It's hard to compare 31 to like 49. Right? I'm 49, and it's funny because I remember being 31 like it was yesterday, but I also look at how much growth has occurred since that time. Like if I were to talk to my 31-year-old self and tell my 31-year-old self what has happened since I turned 31, he would be stunned. He would be like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" You know. Like there's so much adventure and so much of a journey in front of you. You have no idea, what it's going to be. And so I was super impressed when we talked about the business and we did the one-on-one and everything. And I also noticed that you're very intentional about sort of learning the things you need to learn to grow in the way you want to grow. And you mentioned the words, you said therapy and meditation, and there's another word I wrote down. I just can't read my own writing. But let's talk about therapy and meditation, which I'm a big fan of those things as tools for personal growth. Talk about that a little bit more. What drove that? Where did that come from?
So that definitely came from the breakup. And it's funny because I did a video on how I deal with anxiety as an entrepreneur. So for me, I do suffer from anxiety and I have to do things to make sure, I'm good. So it starts with your mental health. So you can't have a popping business if your mental health is not good. So you have to make sure as an entrepreneur that you're good so that everything around you can be good so that your business can grow. So as far as the therapy definitely was after the breakup, but I'm not in therapy right now. I'm sure I'll go again at some point because I love therapy. Like who doesn't love talking about themselves? Like you just
therapy is fun. Like people don't understand. Well, I'm not saying but it's great. It feels really good. I don't know why people put a stigma on it, but I think I think everybody should get therapy.
I love therapy. I love it. You just get to talk, and they're like, "Tell me more," and I'm like, "Okay."
and now you know what when you said that made me remember the word I wrote down that I could not read, and you talked about journaling. That journaling is another form of therapy, right? I mean, was it therapeutic for you to kind of write out your feelings and thoughts and stuff like that?
Absolutely, because when it stays up here, it becomes too much. So you have to get it out somehow. So if you're not talking to someone that you trust, write it out, and it also helps you to see your growth. So when I journal, I could look back 2 years ago and I'm like, whoa, like I really came far. This is amazing, So journaling does help. It does help for me. And then the meditation is relaxing. Like I need that relaxation. I need to come down because I don't know if you could tell, but I have a lot of energy. And then that energy, anxiety, it can be crazy, So, I do have to take time to just come down and relax and ground myself.
Wow. Well, oh, and by the way, everybody, I should mention this. I'm speaking to Keisha Ravenel. Keisha is the founder of We Inspire Brands. What's your website, by the way? I want to make sure everybody has that before I forget.
So if you want to purchase apparel, it's www.weinspiretees, that's tees.com. But if you're looking to start your own t-shirt business, then it would be www.weinspirebrand.com. So I do have a t-shirt course. So after I started my t-shirt business where I was just selling t-shirts and apparel, after speaking with you, Dr. Boyce Watkins, which was the best investment I made. It definitely was.
I'll take that.
And I started coaching. I started coaching new and aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start their own t-shirt business. So that's what I'm doing now.
Wow. Well, I love that. So let's talk about, Alicia just walked in, and I want you to stay here and listen because I want to remember we were talking about these shirts.
I am enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Alicia and I were going to wear our I am enough shirts. hey babe, can you put this shirt
Let
on?
me put it on.
Yeah, and then because I'm interviewing Keisha right now, and I told her that we were gonna put on the shirts and pose together. And guess what we were just talking about? See, y'all are listening to me talk to Alicia, but whatever. This is my channel, so I can do what the fuck I want. But yeah. So guess what she was just talking about?
What?
She was talking about the value of therapy.
Oh,
and how therapy is so beneficial and healing and it's therapy is therapeutic. And also we agreed, and I hope everybody that's listening can get some benefit from this conversation. We also agreed that everybody can benefit from therapy. That, you know, and I think as a community, we got to embrace that idea, because we know we got a lot of people that really need the therapy, but then also we got people who maybe they don't necessarily need the therapy to normalize themselves, but therapy will take you to that next level. Right? Knowledge yourself. What do you think? Come on.
Yeah, it's not a sign of
weakness. You want to sit next to me? Come on.
For a second.
She's got the shirt on. You got a meeting?
I took my shirt off.
You got a meeting?
Hi there. Oh.
Hi, Dr. Alicia.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
So now we're wearing your shirt.
Yeah. In fact,
I'll make us both picture. So this is our endorsement of Keisha's product. We are both wearing the shirt. And one of the smart things that she did was after we did our one-on-one consultation, you reached out and you said, hey, you know, would you like, you know, can I send you the shirt? And I think that's very smart. That not that I want everybody to send me shirts, please, no. But it's like, you know, that idea of sort of investing in yourself and investing in your brand. And so, because, you know, I like what you were saying. One thing that she said earlier, I got to brief Alicia on it, is she was saying that her I am enough slogan came from that she had an engagement that broke off, and there was some emotional, you know, stuff going on, and it was like a self-esteem challenge, you know, which we know about. And this is what led her to create this brand. So she took a setback and turned it into a major come up and a comeback.
Yeah, oh, that's marvelous. Exactly. Yeah, going to therapy is not a sign of weakness. It really is a sign of strength. You know, it takes a strong person to be able to recognize, you know what, I think I can operate better and I could do better. And a therapist will do a really good job in helping you meet your goals. Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to mention, I know I said this is my original I Am Enough. So this is what came out of the, you know, self-esteem issues, but this is my anniversary design. So I created this, the anniversary of I Am Enough is October 8th. So on October 8th, I launched these, and this, of course, is specifically for the Black community. And we go through those challenges as Black women, Black men, you know, hair issues, like I don't want to wear my natural hair. I know I don't have my natural hair right now, but I do wear my natural hair in the workplace. Like, oh, you can't wear this. You can't look like this. Oh, you're too dark. You're too light. So I just felt like we needed the reminder as a community that you are enough, you know, just the way you are, whether you're dark skin, light skin, natural hair, wig, whatever you want to do, you know, have that confidence in yourself to say, I do what I want to do. I live my life the way I want to live it. And I struggle with that too, because for a while, as a conscious Black woman, I always said like, oh, I can't wear my hair straight, or I can't wear a weave, I can't wear a wig, because then maybe the conscious community is going to judge me because I don't have my natural hair. So that was also a struggle. And I'm just like, Keisha, like, it's your life. You do what you want to do. You know who you are. You know that you're there for your community. You know that you uplift and empower your community. It looks like. That's right. And yeah, I agree. I think that we got to kind of check ourselves a little bit when we get to the point where, you know, I don't, it's not that I'm against judging and evaluating things that matter. Right. It's if you're doing something that's terrible or harmful to people, then I have a right to give my opinion on that. But who cares about, you know, like as a man, I've never had a time where I felt the need to ignore all the intelligent things that are coming out of your mouth to say, you know, you shouldn't be wearing that hair weave. I don't care. I can't even tell. I'm so stupid. I will think that a wig or a weave is your real hair. And for a long time, I'd be like, how did your hair get so long so fast?
And I'm like, oh, that's right, because they do the whole So I kind of think that we have to figure out, which battles do we want to pick? If I'm gonna critique you as my sister, which I think everybody has, we all make each other better that way.
Mhm.
I should pick the things that matter,
Right.
and your hair. I mean, my guy, what? I don't even have any hair. What am I talking about? Right. So okay.
Judge for it.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit more about you got to go, babe?
Yeah, I gotta go. Congratulations. I
Thank
love the anniversary. It's always great to ritualize the things that are positive in your life.
Yes.
Never be put into a box, somebody else's box for you. Be yourself and not be ashamed of who you are. So good job. Congratulations. I'll let you all continue. I gotta go.
Oh, okay, baby.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye, sweetheart.
Thank you for humoring me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, you got lipstick. Okay.
That's okay. That's right. I'm gonna wear my lipstick. Real proud. All right. So we are fans of your brand, and I think that what you're doing is really great. So let's talk about your journey as a business owner. Just what the ups and downs have been. Because I don't want to give everybody the impression that this stuff is just simple and easy.
Right.
What are some of the areas where you would say I'm very proud? Like I did it. I didn't think I could do it, but I did it. And where's an area where maybe you say, "Gosh, I really messed up. I wouldn't do that again." What are your thoughts on that?
I think as far as areas where I say I did it, I would definitely say launching my profitable t-shirt business course. So I didn't think that like I could do that and people would be interested in it. I didn't think so. And then over the summer, I had people, they came and they wanted to learn how to start their t-shirt business. And I had 3 successful clients so far, 2 of which made over $500 within their first week. So I was just like, oh, whoa, y'all did better than me.
Nice.
You walk so we could run. I'm like, that's amazing, So I am definitely proud of that. And like I said earlier, I didn't start off coaching. I started off just with my t-shirt business. So with the t-shirt business, I started it in about 2018. I really launched and put myself out there and expanded in 2019 as far as the t-shirts and apparel. And in the beginning, I definitely had issues with sales and marketing. And this is more of the, I wouldn't do this again. So I would go weeks without promoting my brand, weeks. So you were talking, not posting on social media, not wearing my t-shirt, nothing, no marketing, no promotion. And I just thought people would just come. Where are the people? I'm looking for the people. And it's well, you're not doing the work. So for me, I had to learn how to be consistent and confident enough to post whenever I wanted to post. So if I wanted to post 10 times a day, then I'm going to post 10 times a day because I want my brand out there. And if that's annoying to you, then unfollow me. But in the beginning, I didn't have that. I didn't have that mentality where I was doing what was best for my brand. I was doing what I thought was comfortable for other people. So I'm like, I don't want to be annoying and, post, and I don't want to be annoying and reach out to people. And now I'm just I'm posting on Instagram. I'm posting in my Facebook group. I'm reaching out to people via text hey, I know you said you wanted a t-shirt.
Well, let me show you something, Keisha. Okay, so here's a picture, right? This is when I was interviewing Ice Cube.
Yes.
Right, the rapper Ice Cube. He's the Ice Cube. Needs no introduction, right? Brand is as big as they come. Do you notice what kind of shirt he's wearing? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Can anybody read what that shirt says?
Ice Cube.
Exactly. What does that say back? What does it have back here? What's this? See that? Where my mouse is? I'll scroll in a little more. Look at that sign behind his head. See it?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the reason I share that is because, you would think that somebody as big as Ice Cube wouldn't have to worry about promoting his brand.
Right.
You're the original gangster, the original, you started a whole industry of music that, that now other people are starting their careers in something that you created. So you would think that a brand that big, that's been around that long, he wouldn't have to promote it. He wouldn't have to do it. But he still, to this day, when he does an interview, even if it's on a small platform or a big platform, he will wear shirts or have something in the background that reflects his brand. To remind you of who Ice Cube is, and to remind you that he's Ice Cube and you're not, right, or whatever, right? And that's a mindset. Like that's a that's the mindset of an owner, a boss, an empire builder. Is you're always on brand on some level. Right. It doesn't mean you have to be obnoxious about it. It just means you remind people constantly every single day who you are and what you represent. Even when I'm not being, Dr. Boyce Watkins, whatever that means, there's always something about me somewhere, maybe in my background, like Black Business School or whatever, right? That reminds you, this is what I do. This is who I am. And I think one good measuring stick is that if you have a brand, feeding a brand is like feeding a baby. If you stop feeding the baby's not going to live.
I did a video on that. It's so funny you said that. I did a video where it's like your brand, your business is your baby, so you have to nurture it. You have to pour into it the same way you would pour into the baby. You have to feed it, you have to take care of it, so you have to educate it.
I love it. Well, so I think that's smart, feeding the brand. And I think it gets hard maybe for people because for two reasons. One is when the baby's real tiny, you're like, this baby ain't gonna grow up into anything. Well, you got to remember, even LeBron James was once a tiny little infant, right? And if his mother had stopped feeding him because he was so small, he never would have grown to be 6'8", 250 pounds. But then also there's that fear of being, seen as obnoxious. Like, gosh, I'm annoying all my friends with this stuff. And that's legitimate because, some people might think you're obnoxious, right? I have friends that don't talk to me anymore. And I didn't know. One time I had a friend, this was when I got political and I was sharing my point of view on politics, which I'm not going to repeat because most people kind of know what I think. And he was a friend and I used to work with him at Syracuse and I hadn't talked to him in 10 years. And I had forgotten. In fact, it's been so long, I forgot we were Facebook friends. So he pops in my Facebook feed after I made one of my comments or whatever. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, there he is, And he says something like, when did you get this stupid? What's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. And it cut me to the core. It hurt. It hurt my feelings. I was like, dang, God, but you know what? I know how to give people the middle finger and keep going, right? Like you're not going to tell me whether I have a right to have my opinion or not. That's why they call it my opinion and not your opinion. Because it's mine. I control this. But also it means that, so, some things come with the territory. I think one of the greatest challenges of being a business owner is that it's a little different from being an employee, because as an employee, every penny that you make, it's kind of like it's free. It's almost like free and clear, kind of like profit, right? Well, you got your expenses and stuff at home, but it's not like a business where in a business, you're gonna have your wins, you're gonna have your losses, and on a regular basis, you're gonna have your revenue and you're gonna have your expenses. You're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs, and it can be up and down, up and down, up and down. So what ultimately occurs, I'm comfortable saying, yeah, I've had success at this. I know how to make money. Is that you get to the point where you're just like, yeah, I have lived out some of my wildest dreams, and I have lived through some of my worst nightmares. I have had some of the biggest wins, and I've had some of the biggest losses. I have some of the greatest opportunities, and I have some of the extraordinary challenges. Right. I've had the highest revenue, and I've also had the highest expenses. Right. And that's kind of just what it means, to go out as a business owner. So can you talk about that in terms of how that's shaped you as a person, just, your whole business journey, and how it's still shaping you on a daily basis?
Yeah. Like you said, you have those wins and you have those losses. So it just goes back to confidence for me, that confidence and consistency, because as a new entrepreneur, as a new business owner, I see a lot of people, they want to quit. So they don't make sales the first month, or, they made sales the first month, but then the second month they didn't make anything. They're like, oh, I guess this is not for me. You can't do that. You can't do that if you want to succeed. And I always tell my clients, I say, one thing that every successful person has in common is that they didn't give up. They didn't quit. So if you want to be successful, you have to continue going. And for me, I did have those months where I didn't make anything, from my t-shirts. And I'm just like, well, better luck next month. Let's go hard. And you have to reevaluate and say, hey, all right, what didn't I do this month compared to the month that I made, 15, 20, 30 sales. So for me, it's really just about checking in with myself, reevaluating things, looking back, seeing what I could do better, seeing what I can do more of, what I can do less of. So yeah, that's just what I have to do for my business. And that has helped me thus far.
All right. Well, everybody, I'm speaking with Keisha Ravenel, and Keisha is the CEO and founder of the We Inspire brand. She has a couple of websites you can go to find out more about her. You can go to weinspirebrand.com, or if you want to check out her merch, you can go to weinspiretees.com. And what I want to do is I want to share on my screen. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. And also, I should acknowledge that thank you, Andrea Downing. Andrea Downing made a donation. And she says, thanks for all you do. I appreciate your guest as well. Seeing you with a beautiful black queen. She used hashtag motivation, hashtag I am enough. So there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. Yeah. I just, you didn't even tell me you was going to start with something so heavy. I mean, but I like that. I love it though. I think it was so great that you were honest about that, because everybody goes through stuff, and we just, we feel like we got to give the big fluffy story. It's like, no, like sometimes what I find is that everybody's got a superhero inside of them that can come out. But the thing about it is that sometimes it takes a tragedy for that superhero to emerge. Like if you watch most comic books or read most comic stories, there's an origin story of the superhero. Like, how did they become Superman or the Incredible Hulk or whatever? Right. And usually that origin story is really tragic.
Right.
Like they went through something really horrible, and they got caught inside the incinerator and and burned alive, and then he became fireman. But that's how life works. That's what I learned, that most people who are great at anything are usually tough because they went through something difficult to get there. Like, right. You can't be tough going through cotton candy and cupcakes every day. You got to go through hell to get to heaven. If you want to get to heaven is on the other side of your hell. Right. And your hell might mean breaking out of a barrier that you have. It might mean overcoming some addiction you have. It might mean going through the pain of ending a bad relationship. It might mean putting down the Cheetos and actually doing a fast and eating health food, and instead of whatever it is. Like, we all have this hell that's kind of incarcerating us, that's locking us in.
Right.
Like my hells were I wanted to lose weight, but I didn't want to stop eating the way I was eating. And I just realized I can't, I got to go through hell. And I did a fast, and it was horrible. But then suddenly, I'm slimming down, and I'm getting all the compliments, and I'm like, oh, this is great. This is what was on the other side of that wall. Right. So I encourage everybody, figure out what hell you have to go through in order to get to your heaven. Because I will just tell you for sure that I know exactly when I became the more of the man that I am today. And it was actually when I was a little bit younger than you. I was 29 years old, and I just had a tragically painful ending to a relationship. And in addition to that, I was having all these other problems, financial problems, and everything else. And in fact, I had to break my lease. I had an apartment and I couldn't pay the rent, and I had to leave in the middle of the night because I couldn't pay the rent. And I had enough money to get a one-way rental on a van. And I put everything I owned in this van, and the van was so full that I had to put my basketball on the dashboard because there was literally nowhere else. I was like, there's no way I gotta put the basketball on the dashboard. There's got to be some space somewhere in the van. There was no space in the van. I drove with one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the basketball. That's how packed this van was. And it was me just I moved to the next stage of my life, and it was really tough. I mean, it was, I was really broken down and just feeling like a failure and feeling like crap. And then what just kind of happens is that the blessing of hitting rock bottom is that's when you get to make a decision about what you're going to be like. Are you going to just, get comfortable in hell, or are you going to are you just going to, ascend? to your heaven. Like now it's time to get the reward of everything I've gone through, and the rewards were extraordinary. So if I could go back in time, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. And sometimes I think about that too. Like, oh, like, did I know this from before? And maybe I should have ended things earlier and I wouldn't be in this situation. But I just feel like you can't think like that. You have to take what you're going through and, like you said, you have to run with it, become the superhero. And that's what I intend on doing from now on. Like, I felt like I got through this situation and this was the blessing that came out of it. So I know that I can get through more. Not that I want to go through hell, but it's like
it's the trade-off, right? So let me show you what kind of what the sisters got going on. And I want y'all to, everybody in here, feel free, the fellas, flirt with her if you want to. This Black woman needs to know that she's awesome and she's beautiful. And so here's some of what she does on her Instagram page. And her Instagram is up here. It's We Inspire Brand. And here's some other images of models that she got for her brand. And I notice the stuff you do on social media because you do a good job of consistently promoting what you got going on, and that's what's required. People will not know about your brand or your product if you do not tell them.
Right.
And I think anybody that's really your friend is going to proactively and consciously and intentionally support the brand. Yeah. And so this is so you got a lot going on here. Okay, so let's close down with some pointers and tips and advice that you'd like to share with other aspiring entrepreneurs. There are lots of people in here that are cheering you on, and they love what you're doing, and they want to be like you when they grow up. and you're talking about, how did I get in this situation? Well, I don't know what situation you're in, but I know that right now you're sitting here, you're talking to me, and you got this great company, and you're going to continue to make even more money through time. So I think you're in a pretty good situation. So I think that a lot of people would like to be in your situation. So tell us more about, so start two things. One, any advice you could give to anybody that's listening. And then two, what are your plans going forward?
Okay. So the best advice that I could give new and aspiring entrepreneurs is invest in a coach or a mentor. That's probably one of the best investments that you can give your business, because if you don't, you can still get to where you want to be, but it's going to take a little longer. Whereas if you put that money toward investing in someone that has been where you are, then you won't struggle as much, as long as you listen to what they say, right? So as long as you listen to them and you take the action, you will be successful, so invest in a coach, invest in a mentor. Don't be afraid to do a program, and of course, look into it. So you don't want to just do a random program where, they're not really teaching anything and it's all fluff. Like, make sure you do your research. You look at testimonials, you ask questions, because that's what I did. So my mentor right now, he helped me with like sales funnels and all of that great stuff. He helped me to become the coach that I am today. And then without investing in the one-on-one with you, I would have never invested in him and his program. So it's like, this is what I had to do in order to build my business. So if I didn't invest with you and I didn't invest with the mentor that I have now, I would still just be selling t-shirts. I wouldn't even have a course where I'm teaching others how to build their own t-shirt brand.
Well, you know what? Well, I love that. I mean, and I think that's a really great lesson that you just shared, because a lot of people take the whole, like, I'm gonna figure it out on my own approach. And sometimes you luck out and it works, but it takes a long time. It might take you 10 years to figure out something that somebody could have told you in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big believer in, if I want to learn something new, you know what I do? I find somebody's class and I take it.
Yeah.
I pay for it. To this day, I still I signed up for some stuff yesterday, right? Because it allows you to go ahead and make that investment, and then And then I don't have to try to figure it out anymore. Now I just ask my teacher and they give me all the information and I can walk away with all those years of experience. And when you're talking about business, you're really talking about something where one good idea can really accelerate your income. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. I've seen people make 20,000 in year one and literally $1 million in year two, right? Because they sat down with the right people or whatever. So, and so what's $2,000 or $1,000 or $3,000 or whatever to take a class, especially when you consider that so many of us have all this student loan debt from college.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah, they don't teach us nothing about starting businesses, and I think Black people need more business owners and investors. I don't think we just need more employees. We should create more employees once we've got businesses to hire those employees.
100%.
Yeah. If you create employees with no businesses, then you're basically sending all your best people over to work for their oppressor, right?
Exactly. So, and that's why I wanted to start helping people develop their own business and start their own businesses, because I am a strong advocate for Black business ownership. So I'm like, well, I learned how to do this. There are other Black people that want to learn how to do it. Let me teach them, So now already, I have 3 people that have their own t-shirt business and they're making extra income from it, So, right now they can't quit their job, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah. Well, the creation of a good side hustle can go a long way, because you may not be a full-time entrepreneur, that may not be in the cards for everybody, but it's like when you get that little bit of extra money, like I found when I first started, when I would make like an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month, that makes a big difference, because like now I don't have to worry about the car note and a big chunk of the, the other bills, and and then that way when I got my paycheck, I was able to save that, right? Yeah. So so you can't talk down on the impact of a good side hustle.
100%.
For sure. All right. So Keisha. All right. So it was great talking to you. And everybody, please give Keisha Ravenel a digital round of applause. And her URLs are weinspirebrand.com. That's where she teaches her classes. And also weinspiretees.com, which is where her merchandise is located. And if you could, please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button on your way out the door. And also just a reminder, if you still wanted a Black Wealth calendar, we're almost out. But you can go to blackwealthcalendar.com and get a calendar, and you put it on your refrigerator, and it has Black Wealth principles and everything else in it. So feel free to go to blackwealthcalendar.com. And thank you guys very much. And Keisha, stick around after we shut down the live, because I want to just say goodbye to you directly. You guys have a great day, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.